Hey everybody, welcome back to Blu-Roy Movies. I hope we're all doing well. We're going to try and change it up this week. I'm recording the weekly watches and recording it on a Saturday night. Now, I don't normally like recording at night. I feel I don't function the best at night. Let's put it that way. I'm a bit of a morning man, and oddly enough, I'm a bit brighter in the morning to what I am now. But we're going to give it a go anyway. And the reason being is that tomorrow, Sunday, Father's Day, and all being well, we're going to have a bit of a Father's Day special on the channel. So, yeah, bear with me. Hopefully, it'll fall into place. If not, it'll be maybe Monday. But we'll try our best to do it for Father's Day. But anyway, on with the weekly watches, and I have watched nine titles this week. So let's roll the credits and we'll get into it. So, right, guys, I started off the week with a rewatch of Terminator 3 from 2003, directed by Jonathan Mostow, obviously starring Arnie herself. Nick Stahl, not the best John Connor, to be honest. Claire Danes, she was quite good in this, and the best looking by far Terminator we've ever had in Christiana Loken. And this film takes a lot of flack, I find. Yeah, not very well regarded, but I actually quite like it. Don't get me wrong, the original Terminator is my favourite, closely followed by Terminator 2, and this is a distant behind them, don't get me wrong, but I enjoy it. I take stuff out of it. I find the female Terminator good and a different direction that I enjoyed, and the way she controls other machines. And there's some great set pieces in here. The scene where they have the chase and she's controlling the fire engine and the ambulance and the police cars, I really enjoy. Like I say, Nick Stahl, not the best actor in the world, portrays a poor John Connor. But it's an interesting enough film. I take a lot out of it. Like I say, not a patch on the first two, but I enjoy it. Turn your brain off, enjoy some action, let it flow over you. You can't go far wrong. Terminator 3, yeah, I like it. Right, next up from 1931, directed by one of my favourite directors, actually, William A. Wellman. Such a great filmography this guy got. And yeah, this is a great gangster film. Starring James Cagney, maybe Hollywood's original gangster. Jean Harlow, who was one of Hollywood's original blonde bombshells, who tragically died really early. I think she was 26 and died of blood poisoning from a kidney problem. Edward Woods, Joan Blondell, and yeah, I really like this. It all follows Cagney's character. Cagney's magnetic in this. If you've not watched Cagney films, just give him a go. He absolutely commands the screen for me. You can see why he was one of Hollywood's big stars. It follows his character through being a youthful lad, petty crime, then getting into the big league, and through prohibition, basically taking over the city. I think, was it New York? Apologies if I've got that wrong. I think it was New York. Basically becomes the kingpin of New York with the illicit booze And yeah, really great film. Hour and a half, just shoots by. Fantastic stuff. I want to learn more about prohibition. Obviously, I know the basics of it and the banning of alcohol, but I don't know much about how it come about and the whys and wherefores and how it got repealed, and other than it going underground, how it affected the average man on the street. So, if anybody's got any suggestions for any documentaries that I could watch, because yeah, it's a subject I'm pretty ignorant in, and along with a lot of other subjects, to be honest. So yeah, please, if anybody's got any tips of what to watch, please let me know down below. Yeah, great film, Public Enemy. Brilliant gangster film. I think James was telling me it's available on the HMV Premium Collection, so I'm going to have to have a look at trying to upgrade that. Yeah, Public Enemy, great film, that one. Right, next up, and on a totally different kilter, to be honest, I watched A Walk in the Woods from 2015, directed by Ken Kwapis. I don't know, let me know. Robert Redford stars in this with Nick Nolte, Emma Thompson, Nick Offerman, and Mary Steen Bergen. Now, I was watching a film the other day, I can't remember what it was, and it had some trailers on the start of it. And this popped up, a film I'd never heard about it, but it just tickled my interest. So I ordered a cheap eBay copy for a couple of quid and I gave it a watch. This is all about best-selling author Bill Bryson. Now, if you're not aware of Bill Bryson, he is a very prolific travel writer who came and lived in the UK for quite a number of years and then moved back to his homeland of America. And Robert Redford plays him in this film. Now, Bryson is going through a bit of a midlife crisis and he decides to tackle the Appalachian Trail, which I think is the longest walk like trail you can do in the world. 2,200 miles, I believe. If one of my American friends can let me know if I've got that wrong, Jim, I'm sure you'll probably know. And his wife, Emma Thompson, she's understandably very reticent to let him do this at all and insists that he must take something along with him. He invites various friends who, quite rightly, tell him he's mad and tell him where to get off, and there's no way that they're going to go with him. So he has to settle with going for Nick Nolte's character, who they've got a bit of a checkered history in the past, a very love-hate relationship, and they set along doing this walk along the Appalachian Trail, and it's just the hijinks they get up to, the different, very eccentric characters they meet along the way, and yeah, they get up to all sorts of scrapes. And it's got some very amusing moments. Second week running that I've laughed out loud at a film. Nick Nolte was brilliant. Is this old guy in it now who can hardly walk, but manages to go along the trail, womanising along as he goes and getting into scrapes with different wives, husbands, and all that good stuff. Yeah, really great stuff. A film that you don't have to think about very much, but it's pretty amusing. Will keep you entertained. And yeah, recommend it. If you haven't seen this, give it a watch because it's very enjoyable stuff. That's A Walk in the Woods. Next up, I watched I Start Counting from 1970, directed by David Green, starring Jenny Agutter, very young Jenny Agutter, and Brian Marshall. Now, this came to my attention. A few of my friends and fellow YouTubers have been talking about this recently. I know Jodie watched it and really enjoyed it. Stuart Sherlock George, he watched it and really enjoyed it. And BFI had a sale on, so cheap as chips, I grabbed a copy. And they weren't wrong. This was a really enjoyable film. A mixture of quite a few genres for me. A kitchen sink drama, come coming of age tale, come serial killer story, and a perfect blend of all three genres to make a very enjoyable film. It's based around Jenny Agutter's character. She's a young 15-year-old schoolgirl who has a crush on her very much older, I think he's 32, stepbrother. Yeah, they're not blood related, but they're sort of like stepbrothers, and she sort of hero worships him and follows him around and panders after him and bats her eyelids at him. And she becomes a bit suspicious. In the town they live in, there's been a series of killings, of murders, and she starts to suspect it's this brother that she worships is maybe responsible for these killings. And actually, Steve for Films, if you know him, his channel, he did a very good video of the filming locations, and Bracknell. I had to put that out the air there. It was filmed around Bracknell, and a lot of the filming locations are the same today. Check out Steve for Films. If I remember and can do it, sometimes it acts up a bit. I'll link Steve's channel down below. Yeah, check out his filming locations. Like, I was amazed that some of the tower blocks from 1970 that looked foreboding and grim then are still standing to this day. And yet, it's a film that kept me guessing who the killer was. I kept changing between three characters, which is always good. And I did kind of, oh no, it's not me saying clever bloody me, I did kind of guess which one it was in the end, which didn't really spoil the film, because, yeah, really enjoyable film. Again, another quite short film, about an hour and three quarters that zipped along. Yeah, just thanks, guys, for recommending that, because just love discovering stuff like this. And this is now a film that will sit proudly in my collection. Yep, nice when I start counting. Right, next up was Junebug from 2005, directed by Phil Morrison, starring Amy Adams, who is absolutely spectacular in this. Embeth Davids, Alessandro Nivola, and Scott Wilson, who I know from The Walking Dead, but is a character actor who's been in a lot of stuff. And this is a rewatch for me, and I remember, it's years since I watched it, I remember really liking it, but I just didn't get on with it this time. I found it quite dull, which just goes to show sometimes films go the opposite way, that I don't like them at first, but they grow on me. But this one, totally the opposite way round. This is about Embeth Davids' character. She's a curator of art in a museum, and she learns of this artist who paints these like Civil War pictures, which are very odd. Civil War battle scenes where a lot of the soldiers have got their cocks out on full display. Yeah, very odd artist. And she goes to see him in like a hick southern town in South America, wanting to be able to display his art in her gallery. And she goes along with her husband, who she hasn't been married to very long, Alessandro Nivola, whose family coincidentally live near this artist. And they are, yeah, very southern redneck family, totally the other end of scale to Ember's character, who she's this very refined, classy individual. And it's her really a fish out of water as they stay round his family's house, trying to get on with the family, which is a very difficult task for her. But she befriends her now sister-in-law, played by Amy Adams, who's very heavily pregnant and just about to give birth. Yeah, Amy Adams, like I say, she's really, really good in this. She pretty much carries the film by herself, but a lot of the other characters, like David's character, I couldn't get on with, and the rest of the family, they just weren't for me. Yeah, unfortunately, nah, I couldn't get on with it this time. Yeah, Junebug. Right, next up, and I think I've got Jodie to thanks for making me drag this out the shelf. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jodie was talking about this in a video. Top 10 Meryl Streep video, that's what it was. Yeah, Death Becomes Her from 1992, directed by Robert Zemeckis, starring Goldie Hawn, Bruce Willis, Meryl Streep, the lovely Isabella Rossellini, who is in it for a few scenes, and she doesn't wear a lot, so there you go, guys. That's a reason to watch it. Ian Ogilvy, The Saint, and yeah, thanks, Jodie, because it's been years since I saw this and barely remembered it, but absolutely had a great time. Just one of them films that you can stick on and not concentrate and enjoy it because it's just brilliant slapstick. Horn and Meryl Streep, they've been friends for years, and it seems that every time that Goldie Hawn got a boyfriend, because at the start of this she was quite a frumpy individual, and Meryl Streep, who was right glamour puss, would steal him away, and this went on for years and years and years, and culminated in her stealing Bruce Willis off her, and then they got married. They both end up taking this potion that makes them immortal and age in reverse, if you like, and they can't die, and slapstick humour entails from there. It's just great fun. Brilliant effects in it. I'm not sure how they do it. I presume 1992, maybe the start of the digital age. Something I've got to look into, see how they did it, because they were quite good, the effects in this. It's very Tom and Jerry. If you like Tom and Jerry, sort of almost bottom type slapstick humour, then this will be up your street. Yeah, great film. And again, for the second time, I've got to thank Jodie for steering me in the direction of a great watch. Death Becomes Her. Next on the agenda, Across 110th Street from 1972, directed by Barry Shear, starring Anthony Quinn, brilliant in this. Yaphet Kotto, again brilliant in this. You might remember him from one of the Bond films, one of the Roger Moore ones, Live and Let Die, I think. And also he was the black guy from Alien on the Nostromo. Anthony Facchiosa, who was brilliant as mafia mob boss, and what a great film this was. Film was wonderful. I'd never heard of it before. Saw it in the charity shop and thought, I'll pick that up, give it a go because it looks interesting, and bloody hell, what a film. If you like Dirty Harry, if you like them sort of 70s films, French Connection, see if you can grab a copy of this and give it a watch. It was absolutely fabulous. It was all set in Harlem, and three black guys made a raid on a mafia safe house and took them for their money and shot 7 guys and killed 7 guys and made off with the money. And it's about these 2 police officers. The black guy, he's been sent in to try and police smoothly in Harlem and try and get on with the black guys. Anthony Quinn's character is very much your old school cop who will do what it takes and doesn't mind who he upsets to find out the bottom of who killed these mafia guys. And it's these coppers trying to find them before the mafia find them. and it's going to end up terribly for these guys that ripped off the mafia. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant 70s crime film that I can't speak highly enough. Just try, I don't care how you get it, just grab a copy, download a copy, whatever you need to do. One of the best films I've seen this year. It's brilliant 70s crime film. Can't speak highly enough of it. Grab a copy across 110th Street. What a winner. And after that, another crime film which I'd never seen before. The 2018 Eli Roth directed version of Death Wish, starring poor old Bruce on the front, Vincent D'Onofrio, Dean Norris, who he was just born to play a copper. I think he's a copper in everything I've seen him in. The lovely Elizabeth Shue. And you know what? I'm not big on the original Death Wish, the Charles Bronson. That might be sacrilege to a few, but it's just not a film that really does it for me. Now, I've only seen the first one. I've never seen any of the sequels. And with that in mind, and I could get some hate for this, I think I prefer this version because I quite enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. People break into Bruce's how he's a doctor. His wife ends up dead. His daughter ends up in a coma. The police, they're not making any headway into who's responsible for it. So dear old Bruce takes the law into his own hand, takes the case on by himself, and sorts it out for himself. Yeah, very, very brutal. Quite a few scenes that make me wince. There's somebody who's getting a sciatic nerve cut, and God, it did make me wince. Yeah, I really enjoyed this, and wish I'd have seen it earlier. I think might have to have a look at getting the Blu-ray now. Yeah, Death Wish, Eli Roth. I enjoyed it. I like it better than the Bronson version. Go shoot me. I like what I like. And to round the week off, In Which We Serve, directed by, it's actually a double director, Noel Coward and the marvellous David Lean, from 1942, starring Noel Coward, John Mills, Bernard Miles, Celia Johnson. I love Celia Johnson. I think she's marvellous. Kay Walsh. This is all about sailors on an American destroyer during World War II, and it's set in World War II. It's filmed in World War II, so it's pretty propaganda. But don't let that put you off, because it's a very, very good film. Yeah, these guys, their ship is attacked by German bombers and sank, and they take refuge in a dinghy, and then it's told in flashbacks of how they got to that point, how they got to join the Navy, how they met their partners, how they got into World War II, how they get on with their compatriots. And yeah, really, really good film. Can't recommend this highly enough. Just so easy watching. Now, for me, I do like my war films, but a lot of war films where they lose points with me is there's not very much character depth in them. There's not much character development, if you like, where this is totally different. You learn about how the different guys met their different spouses, how some of them are living together, that sort of thing. And it's quite sad in places. It goes in directions that sometimes you don't expect, that people who you don't think will die, and the news has got to be broken to them. Yeah, it's very sad in places. I now need to upgrade it because I've only got this free copy. But I tell you what, for a free copy, upscaled through my system, it weren't a bad picture. I'm not sure if there's a Blu-ray. I'm going to have to investigate that. I meant to do it after I watched it, and it clearly went out of my head. Yeah, in which we serve. Highly recommend that. Brilliant stuff. Yep, as usual for myself, a very eclectic mixture of films. That's a good word, wasn't it? Eclectic. Pulled that out on a Saturday night. Let me know down below whether you agree, disagree with me on them films. I'm sure some of you will disagree, which is all well and good. We like what we like. I wouldn't chastise anybody for what they like and dislike. Yeah, give us a thumbs up if you've liked what I've done here today. Maybe think about subscribing if you want to hear more of this crap. I'll catch you all soon. Yeah, like I say, tomorrow, Father's Day special. If all goes well, will be quite good, I think. I'm quite looking forward to that. Be good, everybody. See you all soon. Ta-ra.